and welcome to my channel, The Moody Pages. So today I am telling you guys what I read for the month of October. And compared to the past few months, I had a slow month for October. And I haven't been doing a whole lot of like monthly wrap-up videos, mainly just because I think about it and then it's like the middle of the month already and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like past the time already to be doing that. So I'm finally like I have some time off of work right now, so I'm trying to like, okay, get it done, and then okay, November TBR, so hopefully that's next. And then my dog loves looking out the window while I film these, and I'm sorry if you can hear him wrestling the whatever this is. And then got my cold brew with some like peppermint cold foam on top. All right. I read 9 books for the month of October, and something that I'm going to be doing that's a little different is tell you guys like what the stats are of like the ratings. I've been seeing some people do that, and I kind of like knowing going into it what book was what, and I try and guess before they tell me what rating it was, if that makes sense. Okay, so no 1-star ratings this month. There is 1 2-star, 1 3-star, 3 4 stars, and the rest are all 5 stars. So yeah, 5 stars. I think I'm just pretty easy to please though, so like, but I also did read some solid books. Like I'm trying to like tell myself like, I'm pretty easy to please, but am I really? I don't know. Okay, so let's get into it, okay? Okay, so I do own 4 of the books out of the 9. Pretty good, pretty good. I did read, I think I actually read a whole 4. No, this one of them I did audio. So anyways, a lot of these are audio books as well. But the first book I read was None Shall Sleep by Ellie Marney. And here is the book. Seriously, stunning cover. It is so aesthetically pleasing to me. The pastels, the murder, like the knife, the blood, like everything about this just is like love. So I actually got this at Barnes & Noble and I was like getting something from their cafe, and this is like one of their like $5 picks. So I was like, ooh, this looks nice, I'll get it. So it's been like a year or 2 since I got this, and I finally decided to read it. And this is staying on my bookshelf. It was so good. Okay, so this takes place in 1982. We have 2 teenagers, and one is a serial killer survivor and the other is not a serial killer survivor. And essentially like they are recruited by the FBI to go start talking to teenage serial killers to see if they can get any insight that they're missing, because the FBI is trying to like interview these people, but they're not talking. But we slowly learn that they like to talk to Emma and Travis, who are those teenagers. So let me just read a little bit of this, because I feel like obviously the back is going to be a lot more eloquent than my thoughts, because yeah, I'm all over the place. Okay, so they actually get called in to give advice on an active case, a serial killer who exclusively hunts teenagers, and then everything begins to unravel. And in working against the clock, they must turn to one of the country's most notorious incarcerated murderers for help, teenage sociopath Simon Gutmanson. And then despite Travis's objections, Emma becomes a conduit between Simon and the FBI. But while Simon seems to be giving them the information they need to save lives, he's an expert manipulator playing a very long game, and now he has his sights set on Emma. So, a very interesting storyline. Like, to me, this was like a true crime novel for the 80s. Like, what more could I have asked for? Like, it was just so good. It was so, again, I listened to this, and the narrators super good. Very, just everything about this was perfection, in my opinion. My humble opinion. All right. The next one I read was These Witches Don't Burn. And this was a really fun novel. Like, so again, this is something that I listened to, and I believe I saw a TikTok like recommending spooky LGBTQ friendly books. And this was, I'm pretty sure this one was considered a sapphic novel. But according to Goodreads, it's YA, fantasy, romance, lesbian, queer, which is paranormal, fiction, contemporary. I personally really liked this book. It had all the like the spooky factors, it had the like the witch factors, it had the romance factors, like I feel like all those typical like things checked off. So let me read you just a little bit. Hannah's a witch, but not the kind you're thinking of. She's a real deal, an elemental with the power to control fire, earth, water, and air. But even though she lives in Salem, Massachusetts, her magic is a secret she has to keep to herself. If she's ever caught using it in front of a reg, also known as a non-witch, she could lose it for good. So Hannah spends most of her time avoiding her ex-girlfriend, and she's also an elemental witch, Veronica. Then evidence of dark magic begins to appear all over Salem, and Hannah's sure it's the work of a deadly blood witch. The issue is that her coven is less than convinced, forcing Hannah to team up with the last person she wants, Veronica. And while the pair attempt to smoke out the blood witch at a house party, Hannah meets Morgan, a cute new ballerina in town. But trying to date amid a supernatural crisis is easier said than done. Spooky read, like a fun witchy read for October. This is definitely a good one, and audio great as well. It's really quick. Highly recommend. So my next read was Hotel Magnifique. This is a story about a girl and her sister who find that this traveling hotel like came to their town, and they wanted to audition for work. Like yeah, they wanted to essentially apply for work there so they could travel the world. Her sister gets the job, she does not. Like the main character does not. I forget the name of the main character. Oh, Janny, okay. Belle, which is a guy that works at the hotel, he comes for her sister and is like, okay, she gotta go, we have to leave by midnight. And Janny's like, heck no, I'm coming with. And kind of just starts like this whole drama of like, then she ends up signing, like Belle ends up like, okay, fine, like I just need the girl, come with me, sign this, we'll leave. She signs and things are not the same, and she starts finding out some dark secrets about this hotel. And now her sister is gone and she has to find her. So this is the Owl Crates special edition of this book, which is really pretty and I really like it. I gave this 4 stars, and honestly I think that might be a little bit of a generous like gift or rating, mainly because this was such a slow build for me. So slow. Like this really reminded me of Night Circus, and this is described as like a Night Circus and Caraval mix, which I have not read Caraval at all, but I want to. Based on this and Night Circus not being kind of up my alley, even though I give this 4 stars, like the ending is what really solidified it for me. It was a very good ending, very action-packed. It finally picked up. I got the closure I wanted and needed, and it was just overall really good at the end. So brace yourself. Like I did a buddy read. I think had I not done a buddy read, I would have DNF'd this at like page, I don't know, very early in the beginning. But I'm glad. Next book I read in October was The Golden Couple. This was intense. This was intense. Okay, so let me read the Goodreads rating, or Goodreads to you. So this is a story about Marissa and Matthew Bishop, and Marissa, they seem to have a great relationship on the surface, and then Marissa ends up being unfaithful, and she brings it up to her husband and she wants to go to therapy. So they go to this therapist, but the therapist has lost her license due to like not standard practice. Like Is a therapist who lost a professional license still does not stop her from counseling those in crisis, though they have to adhere to her unorthodox methods. That was the word I was looking for. And the bishops are desperate. When they glide through Avery's door and Marissa reveals her infidelity, all three are set on a collision course. Because the biggest secrets in the room are still hidden, and it's no longer simply a marriage that's in danger. There's a lot of twists in here. So many twists, and I loved the ending. Although I was listening to this and I totally missed one part, so I had to go back and listen to it. Because I was like, oh, I finished the book and I was like, wait, what do you mean that happened? I did not hear that. So I had to go back and like re-listen. Lots of good twists. I thought it was phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. Okay. And I gave that one 4 stars because there was something missing to it. I don't know. Do you know, like you read something and you're like, oh, there's just something about it that's just not all there for a 5 star. I don't know. Okay. Next book I read was for Book Babes, our monthly pick. And that was Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you enough good things about this book. It was a 5 star for me. Okay. Essentially, this is like probably one of my favorites of the year. It's a very wholesome book. It's a magical realism and just, I don't know how to explain it other than like wholesome vibes. Like, it is a wholesome book. Anyways, so this story is about a girl named Zoe, and she comes to claim her deceased mother's apartment, which is in Delawisp, and she runs into like a little odd community of other tenants, and everyone seems to be like in their own little bubble, own little world, and she is so desperate to like make friends, but no one wants to become friends with her. And some of these people that are like there are also like not haunted, but have ghosts with them. And then like literally the next day after she like moves in to the apartment, one of the neighbors dies, and it involves, one of the neighbors dies. And she is thrust into the mystery of the Delawisp, which involves missing pages from a legendary writer whose work might be hidden there. Now, to be honest, I thought it was that the girl wanted this author to publish them, like publish her story, not that they were missing pages from the author's story. So to those who have read it, correct me if I am wrong, but I think this is wrong. Anyways, I digress. Story about very broken people come together and find a sense of community, sense of family, and what it means to be vulnerable and love and really just feel human again, and learn to move past your grievances and loss of loved ones and really bond together about it. So again, this book was a 5 star. Probably one of my top favorites of the year. Could not recommend this one enough. Very special place in my heart. I hugged the book and I definitely cried. All right, the next book I listened to and is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I gave it a 2 star. It was not great. I really wanted to like it. My cousin recommended it to me, so I was like, okay, for sure I would love to like listen or read to a recommendation from someone that I love. Oh, I did not like it. I did not like it. And let me read the review. Okay, well actually I don't even need to read the review. I can just tell you because I did not like it that much. It was pretty much like Twilight and the host met and had a new book, essentially. And I will say I have not read The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I was describing this book to my friend and she goes, oh my gosh, it's literally just like Twilight and The Host combined in one. And I was like, okay, cool. At least I know a little bit of the premise of The Host. But this book was just literally like almost to the T of Twilight. Like, I love my Twilight, but I can only stand the cringiness so much, okay? We all know that Twilight was not good, but I loved it. I think I would have loved this when this came out, but not my thing. Not my thing now. Okay, so we have 2 reads left. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and oh my gosh, it was so good. So good. I gave it 5 stars. So what I put in here was the book was so heartbreakingly beautiful. The emotions that this book made me feel were so deep, and I felt speechless and at a loss for words for this book. And really, like, how do you like put into words the emotions that a book made you feel? I'm not that great at like explaining my emotions like that. Essentially, this girl named Emma, she marries her high school sweetheart Jesse, and they were pretty much having like their dream life in high school. Like, they had this dream together of what they wanted their life to look like, and they had it. Like, they were living it. And then all of a sudden, Jesse is like leaving on a plane, going on a trip, and his plane goes missing. They find the missing plane parts. I believe someone else was dead, but they never found his body, but they found his backpack. So it's been years, and Emma ends up finding another guy and falling in love with him. She gets engaged, and she gets a call from Jesse that he's alive and that he wants to like come home and work on things. So she's like, what do I do? Because she's currently engaged, and she's like finding happiness, you know, like this is her life now after like that she's been healing, and she's finding new things that she wanted for herself now that she's getting older. And this guy comes back into her life. They know her ex-husband. So a lot of deep feelings, and it's just wild. Like, what would you do in that situation, you know? All right, last book I've read for the month, The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Ooh, okay, so this book, I did rate it 5 stars, okay? I did rate it 5 stars, but there is so much filler in that book. Like, there's, you know, it's a thick book, kind of like teases and drags you along, and I think if there was multiple point of views or really any like just drama happening, it would be awesome. Like, it would have made the book fly so much smoother, but it's such a long book, and I felt like a good chunk of it was filler. But the beginning, great, end, phenomenal. And I think, again, the end is what saved this book from being like a 3-star book, because I mean the filler's fine, it's there, like it adds some substance, that's for sure, but it doesn't add much to the plot line. It kind of starts to explain a little bit, and then side story, side story, side spice, side spice, side story. I give me the beginning, a little bit like condensed version of the middle, and then the end, and I think we'd be fine. But again, end was everything I needed, and I cannot wait to read A War of Two Queens. Okay, I realized as I was doing this that I still had one book and like still chilling, and it's because I did not see that I had read it on here. But anyways, this is River Shadows by Karina Halley, and this is a like a dark fantasy. Dare I say a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Like, this is kind of giving me some Beauty and the Beast vibes. This is my edition from the Bookish box. It was one of their monthly books. Here we go. I don't know how to feel about it. I literally today just gave it 3 stars. It's been chilling there for like weeks at no rating, and I gave this a 3-star mainly because it was dry. There was not a whole lot going on with it, but the spice scenes were good, and like the premise of it was interesting. I think I liked it and gave it the rating not only for the spice, because it's so similar to Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I liked it, and there was some world building in there that I appreciated, and I'd be interested to read the second one. And I'm not saying that 3 stars is bad, I'm not saying that 3 stars is great either though. It was meh. I'll read the second one and then kind of decide from there. But anyways, that is all the books I read in the month of October. I had so many great reads and I cannot wait for like no. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put all these books back and tell me if you guys have read any of these, what your opinions are on them, or if you'd like to read any of them. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!